Hello world! Welcome to the Buggy-sama Fan Club, the first ever edition of the Buggy-sama Fan Club. Today is Saturday, May 31st. This is your boy Jahan, and I am here with...
Alex.
My boy Alex Nada, and our special guest, John Garcia, all the way out in Japan.
Johnny!
Yeah, Jono!
Talking over Skype.
We are your everyday analyst crew. We have come together to express our love for the world of manga, because for us, it is way more awesome than just drawings and fantasies of little Japanese people. It's a world where anything can happen, and anything will happen, and anything and everyone can just exist being awesome like that.
How's that different from like Hollywood or like any movie?
Because white people suck at it. The Jews suck at it, man. The Japanese are crazy at this. Now, there's a lot of...
We've already disparaged the Jewish people.
Yeah, we're like trying to like not insult people in this podcast.
No, man, this is an insult fest, if anything.
Just for clarification, like that was the comment was coming from a non-Japanese person.
Yeah.
Just to clear the air there.
In case it needed to be cleared. Now, we can talk about a lot of different mangas because a lot of them exist. But now, we don't want to do that. We're here for the main three, the main event, the big three, if you will. We're here to talk about Naruto, written by Masashi of the Kishimoto clan. Bleach, written by Titty of the Kubo squad. And finally, the crown jewel, One Piece, by Eiichiro of the Oda pirate crew. Now, all three mangas have updated, and we all three have been read, and we are ready. So, we have good discussion ahead of us, and now we will begin with Naruto, the ninja story.
If you're joining us, we're picking up right in around the climax of this final war arc.
Oh yeah, so what chapter is that? We're on chapter...
All right, we should say the chapter.
678.
My Will.
Yes.
So, we have Madara, who has just released the Tsukiyomi, which is that infinite genjutsu onto the world.
Everyone's caught except for the... What is it, Team 7 was it? Yeah, Team 7 inside of the freaking... The overpowered ass freaking... What's that shit called again?
Tsukiyomi.
No, the Susanoo. That's what it is. The Susanoo. They're well protected.
Susanoo. Yeah, Susanoo.
And we started off the chapter like that. A real quick recap of the chapter would be that they're having discussions. Sasuke's being a little bitch as well as a huge asshole the entire time. And they're trying to devise a way to counter this. It goes over what everyone's dreaming about, like Hinata's taking Naruto's dick,
we'll talk about that.
We will talk
we'll
about
dissect each dream.
Dude, half of them were not worth even dissecting. Half of them weren't even worth showing.
Shino being like, "Don't fight over me, boys."
What was up with fucking Shino? And he's like, "Oh, this new bug I caught."
Yeah, who gives a shit? Like
that's that's his dream, dude.
Shino hasn't been a significant character since I was 5 years old. Literally, the last time Shino's done anything helpful was never. And
what's really funny is like if we psychoanalyze these dreams for a second.
Psychoanalyze.
A lot of these people are like extremely like
basic,
vain.
yeah.
Or like I don't know, they have like a lot of just
they have like this
shallow,
like one
they're
thing,
yeah.
Shallow.
They have very shallow desires.
Right. Yeah,
so
they're like
is Ino.
Yeah, every single girl in this dream sequence, dude, like the only thing they were worried about is the approval of like a male character in this story. Like
exactly.
It was like what was it? 1010 was like, "Oh, I'm so glad Lee and Guy like changed their hair." Like
and
that's her dream. Like that Lee and Guy like are cooler looking. And then like and was Sasuke and what's his face basically pining for her. Yeah. For her like affection.
Don't fight over me.
That really kind of angered me.
And then
it more angered me that she wasn't even brought up than that was her dream. Like I didn't. What? Like,
dude, I think those scenes could have been so much better if Kishi had just like only selected a few of them that were just really really sort of powerful and impactful. Like I think like with the what was it? What's his name? the shadow guy.
Zetsu.
Shikamaru.
What?
Shikamaru?
Shikamaru,
Yeah, Shikamaru. Yeah.
Shikamaru?
Like
Shikamaru?
if, like I think all he needed to put in there was just one panel where Shikamaru was just like talking to Azuma. Like that's like that would have just that one like block for his character would have been so much more emotional than putting in all these like he filled the panel like 7 people and it was just kind of like I don't know it just a close up man of just like them talking like broing it out would have been like so much better.
Because I get what he was trying to do with putting Asuma and the Genjutsu teacher woman. Because like they were technically Kurenai, because they technically did bone and have a child, and like having him come up means that like it's a complete family. But like, since when does Shikamaru really care about that family that much?
Right. No, the only thing he cares about should be Azuma. Like that's like the main thing.
That's like his boy, dude.
I'm trying to even remember what else was there. There was like
in the Shikamaru panel. It's worth pointing out that all we see is he's kind of talking about how marriage is too troublesome.
Yeah, and Tenten is
so
there,
that that's really
Tamari's
Tamari. Oh my god.
So why? First of all, why is Tamari in his dream?
Well, because I think that couple ship has been like shipped like since a long time ago.
Yeah,
right?
I feel like that has been like hinted at for a long time now.
Yeah.
I think she wants that D, dude.
Well, I mean, I think he wants that V because it's his dream. Right?
He wants that V,
Yeah.
That's true. No, she's dreaming the same thing.
Yeah. She's just dreaming of him being like buffer and larger penis, probably.
I just think it would have been much more impactful if it was just him and Azuma, and then I think you could cut out like half of these dreams, right?
Like Choji eating, like who gives a shit?
Okay, I think the Lee thing, like
that was kind of funny though.
I think Lee beating up Neji and this is kind of fucked up because Neji's dead. Right?
Yeah.
Like fucking Lee.
Actually,
Man,
a
what
lot
the
of
hell's
the
wrong
dreams
with
have
you?
Neji in them, so that's kind of a nice little.
Like as in Neji
to
would still
remind
be
us
alive.
that he was a character once.
Right.
Yeah, no. Yeah, was he in Tenten's dream? I think.
Yeah, he was in Tenten's dream. Yeah.
He was in Hinata's dream.
The Water Kage's dream was kind of stupid. Like, okay.
Wait, I had a question about that. Who
is that guy? Yeah, I don't even.
That
know
is a total random handsome dude that they pulled out of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, like her dream is to be married.
Yeah,
she's a fucking Hokage of an entire like country, and her dream is to be married. Yeah, it's like
she did
Mizukage,
mention that I'm getting older, being a Kage and being like dominant, and I can never get a man that doesn't melt when I freaking.
All right, real talk though, like look at Raikage, dude. He looks so fucking. Look at that suave man.
That suit, man.
It's like ready to go, dude.
Dude, and he's like one of the 2 black people in that whole universe.
He needs a cooler tie. It's a little too plain for me. He needs like a lightning bolt on that tie or something.
Yeah, okay. I think the Gaara one was good beat. I liked Gaara's dream. Like that meant something to me.
He has his family there.
Yeah, and I think fuck, what's her name? Tanade's dream was also was pretty good.
Oh yeah, that was
but yeah, half these dreams should have been cut out.
I had a question because they did talk about how the when the moonlight goes out, they can come out and just fight again. So how was it originally that like the infinite Tsukiyomi caused them to all like stop moving and then the tree grabbed them and now they're stuck in the tree?
Yeah, and they're dreaming inside the tree now, I think.
So even if they're not getting hit by the moonlight, they're still dreaming in the tree.
Because they've already been hit with the Genjutsu.
Oh, right? It's not a matter of constantly being on them.
Because like think about it, like when Itachi puts people in Genjutsu, it's not like he has to continuously do whatever it was that he was putting them in the Genjutsu. He just does the one thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Genjutsu, right?
Once he's got them, he's got them. I see that.
Don't you? I think the Genjutsu lasted kind of a comically short time.
Yeah,
like,
it feels like it would be much more. It would be more dramatic it would be more dramatic and epic for sure if it was just a constantly shining beam of light, and Team 7 had to figure out a way to fight inside that shadow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I don't know. That was kind of weird, but it's not my story. So
yeah.
But I feel like the moon isn't visible everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
So at one time, somewhere in the world there's a new moon, which is totally dark. So I don't know. Maybe the light still permeated or something. So
yeah, who knows, man.
Penetrated.
Well, yeah, because they were saying like you could be indoors, right, and it could still get you.
Violated.
The only people
Really?
that were
Did they say
safe.
that?
Yeah, like people were inside when it happened, and they still got hit by the spell.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It was only like a spell of its own, on
I-
on a grand scale like Sasuno that was able to block it.
Yeah.
Because technically speaking, they did say that everyone that's like under the Sasuno's protection is like completely invulnerable, right? Like, that's
yeah.
what it was.
Right,
Right?
right, yeah.
I think that's the only thing, that can block it. But I guess
So that logic
Maybe-
made sense for once.
maybe the tree got everybody, because that seems to be what's really keeping them in the dream.
Yeah.
The
right,
tree,
right.
or like the mummification or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I thought the mummification was to like steal their chakra from them or whatever. Because originally,
You know
way
that
back-
might
I
be.
guess so.
You know
I guess
that
so.
might be what's gonna happen though, because Madara wanted to do this to like create his own version of like a perfect world, right? And if you look at the dialogue, like the Black Zetsu, like basically just stabs Madara, and he's talking through Kaguya's like will, right? And he says, "This is not the end, and you are not the world's savior." So like I think that maybe what Kaguya wants simply is to like literally eat, like, and reabsorb all the chakra inside
yeah.
every single ninja, and then bring it back into the tree of life. And she's like, I was studying this recently. It's like a common trope where it's called the what was it, like it's something mother. It's like
Like the All Mother. Or
there's
something?
like there's like the Oedipal mom, right? There's the Oedipal mother, and then
Oh,
there's
right.
there's the basically the flop version of it, the something mother. It starts with an A. I forget. But basically, like, the idea is that if you're a female, like an all-powerful female character, right, and you're not mothering, then by nature there's no middle ground. It's either you're like a great mother, or you're out to eat the entire world. That's like the two like tropes that exist in narrative fiction. And so it's like this is
Right.
exactly what she is. She's that mom who's like she's not loving of other people, and so she needs to eat everyone instead. And that's basically like it seems like that's what she's gonna do.
I wish I knew what you were talking about with the something mother though. I wish because that.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
I'm
but
trying to look it up. Like the fuck, I can't remember.
anachronistic.
No,
Anachronistic.
the something mother. I fucking forgot what it was called. Mother.
Arachnid mother.
Arachnid mother.
The Brood Mother.
The puta
Shit.
madre.
Yeah, I remember. Like I was applying this theory, right, to I think it was the movie Alien, and we were talking about how the ship, they call Mother, right, was like is that character. It's like the ship was like manipulated into making sure every single one of them got eaten, and like the whole thing's like very sexual and just weird, but I'm seeing definite parallels here. I can't fucking remember what it was called. Oh man, I have like notes, I think. Well, I don't know. That's besides the point. You guys can keep talking about something
Guys, I've never seen Alien.
else. Are you
What?
fucking serious?
I've
Are
never
you
seen the original
serious?
Alien.
Dude.
I saw Prometheus though.
I find that very surprising, considering you're like you're like a decent movie buff, right?
Yeah, I like sci-fi and I like James Cameron, but I never saw Alien.
It wasn't James. Yeah, it was Ridley Scott. The original Alien was Ridley Scott. James Cameron was like the
James Cameron
remake.
did something, right?
Yeah, he was Aliens. He was the second one.
Oh, Aliens.
Yeah.
Wow, dude, what? Like, just as an aside, like that's kind of awesome to go from like Ridley Scott, who started the franchise, to like James Cameron, who like took
No, dude,
the second movie.
Alien has like the craziest track record of directors. It was like it started with Ridley Scott, right? And then
Right.
it went to James Cameron, and then it went to David Fincher, I think.
I've heard that
And
name.
then
Oh, yeah,
and then
yeah,
and then
that's right.
and then it went to fucking Jean-Pierre Jeunet. He's the Amelie director. Like of all directors, do you know what Amelie is?
Yeah.
That little
It's
love
like the
story.
French movie, yeah. It's like that,
Yeah.
like I think it won the best foreign picture at the Oscars. But yeah, it's like he's like this super arts romance director, and he fucking randomly did Alien like 4 or 3 or something like before he did Amelie. It was like so random.
And who did Prometheus? Was it J.J. Abrams?
No, it was like
I don't know. Did he executive produce it or something? I think I remember his name was attached to it.
I think it might have been Ridley Scott actually.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I'm
it
pretty
was-
sure
it
they
was
brought him
Ridley
back
Scott.
for it.
Was it Ridley Scott?
Okay.
Yeah,
Legendary
director-
director Ridley Scott
Yeah, it was
returns to
Ridley
his sci-fi. Oh my god.
Scott. I looked up. I can't remember what the word was, so I just wrote Mother Anna trope, and one of the first like things that came up was main Jewish mother. I don't know what.
Apologies to the Jewish people once more.
Dude,
We
They're
really
just-
love you.
we're just not having it with them this one, dude.
But anyway, back to Naruto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the? Oh yeah, like freaking Black Zetsu's betrayal was huge. Never saw that
Yeah,
coming.
I'd say that was the sort of the biggest. I don't know, one of the biggest events that's been happening lately. Recently, I haven't been too like blown away by it, but I was pretty surprised by Black Zetsu.
Like what he really is and whatnot.
Oh, I fucking remembered it. It's the archaic mother. That's what it's called.
Archaic.
Yeah,
mother?
if you look it up, the first thing that comes up is called Alien and the Archaic Mother. So it's like it's putting that theory to the movie Alien. Yeah, it's called the Archaic Mother. Archaic. Yeah. But whatever.
I have a speculation that I want to throw at you guys.
About the mom or about something else?
Kind of, it's related to the whole Kaguya situation. Yes. So Black Zetsu is Kaguya's will.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah, how is she? Okay, yeah, I agree. How is he just manifested from a person that's been dead for like 4 fucking ever? So unless Madara figured out some way to pull out Kaguya's will and like put it into a fucking physical manifestation, there's no way.
Well, I feel like there's a lot of ways that this could be covered because, like, out of nowhere, fucking the Sage of Sixth Path showed up in Sasuke and Naruto's dream, right? And it was like the reason was they were like reincarnations of the original brothers, and that's why they had the dream. But then they were also saying that Hashirama and Madara were also reincarnations of these people. So there's no reason that they couldn't have had this dream either. So like, I feel like because the Sage had a brother, right, or another brother. So the two brother sages in Kaguya, there's like a multitude of ways they could possibly permeate into this universe because like at this point they just seem like gods or like entities that just like travel through wherever the fuck they want to travel.
Like a celestial presence. Like,
yeah,
that's
so
how
like I feel like
it.
there's no end to the way Kishi could decide to just slip Kaguya into the timeline that's already exists. Like, oh yeah, at this point, this is what happened, and so that's why Kaguya was inside Madara's chakra all along. And so when he made Zetsu, it was already like Kaguya in first. I think John just cut off.
No, I'm here. Here's something. On the last page of the Naruto chapter this week, he says that it's written in the middle panels, acquire the power of the 10 tails, and you will acquire the power to come near that of my mother Kaguya's. Great conceit and hubris was born within my mother's power. People began to cower away from and fear that power. So, did that will come from the 10 tails? Like the 10 tails chakra, do you think?
I can't remember who preceded who. I can't remember if Kaguya existed before this. Wasn't it? No,
They
yeah,
didn't
wait.
say that.
Yeah, I can't. No, they did. They definitely covered this
ate
topic.
fruit, and she birthed like chakra, I think. Right? She birthed this concept of chakra and manipulating chakra and all that, right?
And
if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
right?
and
I'd
the
have to look
sage
back.
being like her child was like the first chakra baby, and that's how he became like fucking insane, or he was born insane.
He was, the first, I guess. He created all jutsu, right? So
Yeah, he's like the god of the ninja world.
yeah.
Maybe not the god of that universe, but the god of the ninja world is how I see him.
Yeah, me too. Although she's looking pretty, she's looking like Hera right now. If I'm gonna use like a Greek analogy.
Yeah.
And then maybe, I don't know if there's any other parallels, but she's kind of like Hera.
Well, there's definitely like an Adam and Eve parallel here, right? Eve.
Oh yeah,
being
well
the
that's
fruit
yeah.
of
Except there was no Adam, just Eve.
Yeah.
I guess if Kaguya is Eve, then she's kind of like
A bitch.
the sin. She is the originator of sin.
Yeah, I guess they're getting at like chakra is sin. Like she eats the fruits.
It's like the
gets the
thing that we
chakra.
got. It's like knowledge, right?
Yeah, it's like knowledge and original
Yeah,
sin, really.
right,
Like
right.
So
Because
that's
knowledge is the thing that makes us also
crazy.
do,
Like and
evil things.
chakra
right,
makes
right.
them crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's that's very valid actually. I'll take that.
Well, I'm
But,
glad, John. I'm glad.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I'm glad you're accepting of this, John, because I don't know how I'd handle it if you weren't.
right.
So the last panel period shows like Madara getting like face raped, and then like
it's like chest raped. Right?
chest
It's like-
raped, yeah. And it shows like the black veiny like pulsing thing taking over him. So are we seeing like a Zetsu takeover of a retakeover of Madara and like a prime body of chakra and stuff?
Or maybe he's just gonna like literally suck the guy dry, like of everything. It's gonna be like a pruny old man.
But you have to think about what type of thing Black Zetsu is. Black Zetsu attaches himself to other people.
Right, but I mean, like the whole yeah, okay, sure, but the tables have essentially turned. Like what we got out of this chapter is that we don't know shit about Black Zetsu. The entire time he's been like giving. We've gotten glimpses of what he's able to do, but he's in general he's been a mysterious character since the beginning of the series, and now he's telling us that he's actually like the physical manifestation of the will of the creator of the universe. So it's like at this point I think it's up in the air. Like I don't know what the hell he's doing. Maybe he's gonna take over Madara like he took over Obito. But
that's
like,
what I had in mind.
But it's like I mean, it would be a double beat, you know. It's like doing the same exact thing. When now the potential is that he can show us just how malicious Kaguya is by doing something even more fucked up to Madara, to the point where we pity him because he's just like this shriveled up prune, you know.
Okay, so here's what I want to pose to you guys. Black Zetsu, from what we know, is Madara's kind of projection onto a white Zetsu, right? God damn it, Alex.
Dude, it's Clash of Clans, dude. It's calling me.
Clash of Clans.
Okay, I actually never thought about it like that.
We're not paid by Clash of Clans to shout them out anyways.
We're not paid by anyone.
Because Madara was generating white Zetsus, right? He was creating those like by the shitloads, and that was his army, right? And he just put a black Zetsu on top of a white one, and that was Zetsu inside of his Venus flytrap thing, right?
Very succinct.
I think Venus flytrap. Oh, right. Okay.
You just kind of like digitized out on Skype real quick, and I think we recorded that, so it's gonna be really cool to play back. Anyway, okay, what were you talking about?
But is that what he is? Like a white Zetsu, they put the black Zetsu on and put a burrito around? A Venus flytrap burrito? Let me get the breakfast burrito with the Venus flytrap. Yeah, let me get
the breakfast, the burrito.
Shut the hell up, man.
Well, okay, if you remember though, I was looking this up during the break. When Madara was dying, he projected Black Zetsu onto the white one. So it's kind of, we're supposed to assume it's Madara's will.
Wait,
so
what was White Zetsu though? Where did White Zetsu come from?
White Zetsu is he's like an artificial human created from some weird science experiments. I don't know. It's kind of an ambiguous thing. I'd have to look up.
Was it seriously like never touched upon? There's probably some.
It was, but it was really convoluted the way it was explained.
Dude, there's probably some like guy listening to this podcast right now, like, what a bunch of fucking noobs. Like he just like knows all the history. Yes. We should know this. Actually.
All I know is that like White Zetsu, he created a shitload of them using that chakra of Hashirama, and Hashirama's like face or whatever.
It was the Mokuton. It was fucking what's his face. He's just been gone for the past.
Yamato.
Yeah.
Who just popped out of nowhere, like, oh, I'm back.
Oh yeah, Yamato is alive and doing something.
Yeah, he's like inside the tree, like making White Zetsus, right?
Right. They were using his like life force to create the White Zetsus. Yeah.
So they
anyway,
captured him?
We're just supposed to assume that that's how White Zetsu was created.
What? That he was just made out of chakra?
Yeah, he's like a chakra being.
He's kind of just like a vessel.
There needs to be something. No. There is definitely gonna be something significant about the White Zetsu being created in the first place, because the whole thing is like yin and yang, right? So like White Zetsu has to symbolically be from something that's. Dude, come on. The whole this whole series like touches upon yin and yang so many times. It's like the whole like Uchiha versus Senju being, you know, yin and yang of each other, and like.
Will you be my yang?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm already a yang. Will you be my wing?
Will you shake it like a salt shaker?
Okay. Anyway, but yeah, no, there's definitely gonna be something. There has to be something significant about it, or otherwise I'd be pretty disappointed. I'm sure there is though. You could probably, if we looked at it, we could probably find something to pick up out of. But it's been a while, you know.
Yeah.
It's been at least several years.
In future chapters, I'm sure they'll elaborate more, and we can discuss it. Kind of remember. But all I want you to realize is that Black Zetsu was allegedly Madara's will.
Right.
Now it's allegedly Kaguya's will. So
right. Because
maybe
I think
some weird thing is getting passed down through this whole like reincarnation.
Right. Yeah.
theme
It's like
he
it's like
touched on.
it's like the thing. The will is already inside their blood to begin with. It was what I was getting at. Like both the sage of the sixth path and his brother and Kaguya, because she's the mom of those two. It's like if the sage of the sixth path is able to like live in the blood of the Senju people or whatever, then there's no reason why Kaguya couldn't either being the mother of those two people. I feel like they're all just chakra entities, and at some point it's like, yeah, Kishi can go ahead and define it for us, but there's like so many ways that, it could be possible. Like there's no real limiter, I think, on these rules, because Kaguya is just like the fucking creator of everything. She literally birthed ninjas, so it's like, at that point it's like we can't really apply any universal logic to this anymore, because it's like it's kind of getting out of hand altogether. That's what I think anyway. But
if she gave birth to like the world or whatnot, then what? All right, no, this is not a question that I'm going to ask here. I was about to ask then, like, what created her? What created the chakra tree? That's not.
She was a normal human who ate the forbidden fruit.
Oh,
Was
the
she?
chakra
Basically,
tree?
was she just normal? I can't remember if she was normal.
Well, that's what I think. I mean, I remember in her origin story they said, oh, she came from a distant land. And
Yeah, she was like an alien. Yeah.
She ate the fruit and she wanted to stop all the wars of mankind. So to assume that she's just a regular person.
Right.
So we can maybe move on to the next topic now.
All right, man. So yeah, that was our discussion about Naruto this week. It was kind of mumble jumble. We had no idea what we were talking about. It was
It's a breedable, dude.
anything
it's
literally
a
anything that
It's
came
like
out of my ass
music.
was gonna fucking just get recorded into this conversation. So that was our discussion of Naruto. Key point: freaking Black Zetsu turned out to be a real doucher and like Kaguya's will rather than Madara's. So yeah, that's happening, and my prediction for next week, I guess, is that it's gonna explain what Black Zetsu is really doing, other than shitting on Madara's heart. So yeah, to continue on, now we'll continue and enter our sword fighting world.
Oh, Bleach.
Yes,
Is that what
please.
again? All right.
Sword fighting. Sanpakto.
So let's see, where did I start with my notes?
Slut.
So neither of you have read Parasite, right? There's another manga called Parasite. Neither of you have read
I
it.
thought we weren't gonna do this. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, I have not read Parasite.
Okay.
I have not.
I was just gonna say that, okay, one of these in this like foursome of these girls, one of them has like the ability to
Be a parasite,
like extend her skin and like eat things.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Like a Chris
that
Luther-looking
power
motherfucker.
for anyone who, if you're listening, it really reminds me of that manga, Parasite. Kiseiju.
No one cares.
Yeah, no, dude, come on,
I
man.
don't know, it's a straight observation.
Dude, come on, man. Who invited this guy?
I don't know.
Special guest, my ass, dude.
That's the first thing I noticed. But I guess, for context.
I've been intending to read that manga though, Kiseiji.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you should.
I've been intending to. Yeah.
One thing that I'd like to point out, though, is it literally happens for every single Bleach episode that I ever read ever, is that I never know what actually fucking happens. Like, it's like, okay, so like, the mouth bitch, like, bites at Ichigo's cape and rips it off, and then suddenly they all go flying into buildings, like, he farted or what? Like, what happened? Like,
I mean, I think that's the point, right? He's so fast that you can't even
is that the
describe
point?
in manga panels how fast he really is.
Is
Like,
that the
he's
point, though?
beyond the speed of manga depiction? I don't know, man. It's like it's Kubo's like artistic depiction of his power, right? I mean, that's what you're saying.
I
It's like
guess.
he does it every single time in every single episode. It's like close-ups and suddenly the outcome.
I guess I see what you're saying, but
It feels a lot
could've-
like the way like
usually he
Hollywood
shows,
like
like-
action films are kind of edited nowadays. Like,
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like kind of like whoa, like in your face, and like suddenly it's
like
like
a shaky camera movie.
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like-
It's like what? Yeah, what exactly just happened? I'm not really sure.
If I had to interpret what's happening at that moment that you're talking about, Justin, because the mouth bitch grabs his cape, so I'm assuming he like swings her around, kind of like in Mario 64 where you like grab
Right.
you grab
right.
the like big black dog in the first level and you like swing him around and like throw him. I'm assuming that's what he did and like knocked all of them and they all just went flying. That's kind of my interpretation of it, but yeah.
All right.
Anyway, we have Ichigo.
One thing I can say though is that like Kubo really ran out of like characters to use. Like that one bitch that gets mad about her being messed up. Like, like really? Like I feel like that's your character. Like you got super pissed about your her getting undone. Like, come on. And like the one bitch that's like.
These are like throwaway villains, though, man.
They
did
are
the same thing with the same thing with the hollows.
That's where I was trying to get at too. Like I guess like they are extremely throwaway villains, and when you have like a whole alphabet of villains to just get rid of, it's cool. But like,
that's true.
But these are the villains that also fucked up. Well, I guess they didn't do the majority of the work, but they fucked up.
They're still doing it, man. They're still dominating like really hard.
Dude, they like fucked Kenpachi up and like.
It's all just really, it's all just shit writing. You know how I feel about this stupid series.
Dude, let's not hate though. We're trying to do an analysis.
We're trying to.
I don't need your hatred attitude. All right, get out of here with that, Alex.
It's just, but that's exactly what you're saying though. It's like they're all throwaway characters. Like you're supposed to believe that these things are so much more better than these other characters you've invested so much in. Like how much, like you said yourself, right? Like. You were looking forward so much to Kenpachi coming back. And, like, how fucking disappointing was his comeback? He took out the imagination enemy, right?
Who was
the guy
potentially, like, the strongest guy
He
ever.
could have been,
like...
right, but that wasn't even established, though, because this is how bad he is at setting these sort of things up. Like, you could have set him up as, like, the right-hand man of fucking, what's his name?
Hashwell?
Yeah, something Bach or whatever the fuck. Whoever the main bad guy is. Like, he could have been the guy who was, like, literally just, like, up-leveling Seirei with his imaginative powers. You know, there's like, it was endless what he could have been doing, and instead it's just like he was shooting rockets at this guy who's completely dominant in physical force.
Exactly.
It was like completely limited potential. And there's no real victory, in my opinion, of Kenpachi killing this guy, and then he gets fucking owned by these what you were saying, nameless, like throwaway villains. Yeah, it's like it's just bad in my opinion. And then Ichigo comes in and he's gonna clear up the trash, right? It's like for the 78th time.
But that's what Kenpachi was supposed to do.
Right. It's
Kenpachi was supposed to be their biggest like game piece there, minus like I guess Ichigo.
It would have been so much better if we could have seen that, you know? Like I kind of like the way the very initial arc was doing when Bleach got serious, right? It was like the Kubo started kind of showing us these hierarchies of like character powers, right? And like Ichigo would be able to take out some of them, but he couldn't take out all of them, and he couldn't take out some of them as well, and he had to run. He was on the run from all these like captains at the same time, and you kind of got a sense of like the power differences and the dynamics, but you understood that he wasn't necessarily stronger than certain ones, and some of them were better than others simply because of what their powers allowed them to do. Like put them at advantages over each other, not necessarily because they were actually stronger than other people. And so in that sense, it was like it felt like there was a more intricate way of delivering this. But at the end of the day, it just ended up becoming Ichigo just as the main character by default tops every single person. And so the only way to show that is to use everyone else within the story as like stepping stones for Ichigo to get to the point where we can somehow believe that he's so much better than everyone, even though Kubo hasn't shown it through narrative storytelling. John, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay. Oh, so your video's off, so it's like kind of...
Oh, sorry. Oh. Okay, my video's
hey, what up, dude? There you
go. And one thing, like, when he whipped out the swords, I was all super fucking stoked, and then nothing happens. And it's like, oh.
Well, I mean, at that point, it kind of cut to...
Juhabak.
This German bastard comes out of nowhere, you know, like... Fucking asshole, dude. I'm trying to see what he's doing with his swords, and this guy's like, oh, well, you've come. Like,
and you know for a fact, right? Like, these dual swords, right? Like, they're gonna go through another formation right before he has to fight Juhabak or something, right? And it's gonna be a giant sword again. Like, this is like, literally, how many times has this happened? Like, it's like a big sword, small sword, but then big sword, but then it's compact now because all the power has been compacted in this smaller, thinner, sleeker sword, and now it's like huge again, and now it's split into two, and now you know he ain't gonna fucking kill the main baddie with two small swords. He's gonna kill him with like the huge one, right? Like, it's gonna happen. It's like so goddamn predictable. I called it here on this podcast on, what is this day? Saturday, May 31st.
You guys know, Katana from Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
I really hope that Ichigo's Bankai is like two fans. Like how she uses
and it also changes his clothes into Katana's outfit as well. Except he doesn't have the titties to match, so that like the top doesn't fit. And he's like, "What the fuck, man?" Like,
yeah, but he's got like a really nice banana hammock to like, sheath his junk. If Kubo really wanted to, knock down some walls, I would say he should do that.
He really wanted to catch some interest again, like get that anime up and going again, like that'll get the anime coming back in
just
seconds,
jiggling
dude.
nuts and like in junk, dude.
Yeah, but I guess the one main thing that I guess we can speculate on is who is the person at the end. I actually don't know. Like
I feel like it's Aizen. I feel like it's been hinted that because like. Juhabak's coming here, right? And like multiple times throughout the arc, they've been talking about how Aizen is stuck in that thing at the bottom of the well or the bottom of the
prison or whatever.
The prison, yeah. And like it's like I think it was even slightly foreshadowed that was a reason why Juhabak came, was because he wanted to like unhinge the prison and let that guy out. Like because multiple times they brought him out. Like, he was a subject, like, oh, yeah, remember he's in the prison? It's like, why are we talking about him?
Well, no, don't you remember where Juhabak actually personally went to go see him?
Yeah, right?
And talk to him?
Yeah, so I think
and then Aizen was like, nah, I'm good, like...
Oh, really?
Yeah, Juhabak's like, so you want to, like, take over these niggas or what? And, like, Aizen was like, nah, man, I'm good in my little jail cell. Like, I got used to prison already, just like that.
I mean, that could have been a lie, but I don't think it's Aizen because... he doesn't have two little hair loops or two little,
Yeah, and he looks like
strands.
a normal human again, and Aizen doesn't like.
And this guy's chin is way too like manly. If you look closely.
Yeah, it is like he could stab someone. With
oh
that,
wait, you're talking about this guy?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know who the hell that is.
So it was. I'm pretty sure he was revealed.
I didn't know what you were talking about. Isn't this guy just like one of his right hand men? The guy who was like supposed to be the guy who was supposed to take over, but then Uryu, whatever his name is gonna take over instead, right? Isn't this the guy who was originally supposed to take it over?
Is it? I actually don't remember seeing this guy.
I don't. Yeah.
No,
see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, no
they
one cares.
totally revealed him in like a previous chapter. They didn't explain what he did or nothing. Like, well, they kind of did, but not as much. But they totally revealed him, and it's slipping my freaking brain right now, dude. I don't remember what they talked about.
Did they really?
They revealed him, man. They did.
Okay.
Dude, I have this theory, right? Like, you would say without a doubt that like One Piece is so much more chaotic in terms of how it structures its arcs and its fighting matchups than mangas like Naruto and Bleach, right?
Right.
Without a doubt, right? And I think like initially like that's kind of the way Naruto and Bleach was. Like you can kind of like see ahead of time in the arcs, oh, for sure this guy's gonna fight this guy.
Yeah, I agree.
You had and even though those matchups would happen, there wasn't anything bad about that. It was almost kind of a catharsis,
like a feeling. Foreshadow, really.
Yeah, it's like okay, yeah, like you've been pumped about these two guys fighting, and they're finally gonna go at it. And what's interesting is watching the way they fight. That's the challenge that these manga artists have to face: is how can I make these combat scenes and this fight intriguing and interesting? You know,
like I've been thinking about the whole like the potential fight because now we know, but previously we didn't, between Naruto and Sasuke. That was like the fight between Mayweather and freaking and Pacquiao. Yeah, they've been talking about that forever, and they've just been putting it off, and it's not happening.
Well, okay. Well, anyway,
like, that's just like that's how I feel about it.
Let's back to Naruto. But what I'm trying to get at though is I think that this is just a theory. I could be totally wrong. But, like, One Piece was kind of, like, not that popular for a while, and, like, Naruto and Bleach had been really excessively popular for a while, back when, like, I was, like, maybe in middle school and maybe early high school. And then One Piece just, like, blew up. Like, it just, like, went crazy. And it almost, I feel like it affected everything about manga and anime in general, now that this, like, was getting so much attention. And I think these guys are paying attention to the fact that, like, you can do these arcs this way, right? Where it's, like, kind of, like, crazy chaotic and you can't predict who's going to fight who. And, like, you never thought the matchups would kind of happen this way. And sometimes the matchups are kind of predictable. Like, the guy with the best swordsmanship is going to fight Zoro for sure. Like, that's just, like, like an established norm, but there was a lot of matchups that you didn't really see
It
coming.
came out of nowhere. Like,
Right, and I feel like when that happened, I felt like Naruto and Bleach kind of tried to do the same thing randomly. Like, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but like things started to get less predictable, but not in a good way. Like I felt like they were trying to emulate that same unpredictable sort of matchups, but then they didn't pay off because they don't know how to do it well. Does that seem kind of like...
To add to what you're saying, I think it's like a little ironic considering how like let me just try and explain this. Like One Piece I would deem as like the most chaotic of the three in like multiple senses. Like the drawings, like he draws so much shit in there. Like all the fights that happen, all like the arcs are like, all right, this is our plan, but we're gonna get fucked in like so many like awkward ass, random ass, out of nowhere ass ways that it's not gonna come to plan. Like what was the original plan in the first place?
Yeah,
like you know, like
yeah.
And yet, and like every person that he fights, you're like, oh, like Luffy's gonna go fuck this guy up. But like, boom, someone comes out of nowhere, and Luffy's like, I have to take care of this. Like someone else do this. You know, like it would always just be like keep you on your toes. Like you expecting something, and then something completely out of nowhere would happen. Like, but One Piece still has like the most like continuity and the most structure and organization as a story.
When the arc finishes, it's like it's like
even like between arcs too. Really, like between like the arcs, like there is the most continuity and most structure. Whereas like Naruto and like Bleach were like so structured, like oh this is totally gonna happen. Naruto's gonna come save the day. Blah 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 blah. And then he tries to make it like a little twist, but his little twist is like, what the fuck? Like now how does the story make sense? You know, like now how did like Ichigo come out, and when he first got his Bankai, how was he faster than like Byakuya by that much, and then get like raped by everyone? Like the way that like they switch it up on you is like not very well done.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to hate, but I have to.
No, for sure. Actually, I think though, I just realized that I think this applies more to another manga actually, and I know we said we weren't going to talk about other mangas, but I have to say that I think this rubbed off on Fairy Tail the most. Like, I was a huge fan of Rave, which was the original manga series that came out before Fairy Tail by the same author. And if you read that manga, the thing is structured. It's really well structured, and you can see the matchups coming, and they still deliver and pay off, and they're all great. And Fairy Tail started off that way. There was a very clear structure, and I think until they fought that one guild where Gajeel, the Metal Dragon,
guild,
that was when I think after that finished, suddenly the fucking structure went fucking haywire. Yeah, it went crazy. And I think that like these people are trying to emulate this sort of chaotic thing that's like really doing well, because I mean when you think about it, like I mean there's no way we can know how it's really working, but I'm sure at the shonen offices like people are constantly telling these guys, listen, like your manga's not doing so well anymore. Look at fucking One Piece. Look what they're doing over there. They're just fucking crazy. That's what you need to do. You need to be crazier, you know? And it's like these people, at least I think certain manga artists are a lot more easily influenced, and I think that Fairy Tail was one of them that just kind of just started going kind of crazy for no real solid reason.
How big was like the fan base for Rave before Fairy Tail?
Not that strong. I mean, it was. I can't say actually. I don't really know.
Because like the way I think about it is like, I can't say he's a small time writer because he's obviously not. Like Fairy Tail is really popular too and stuff, but he wasn't as big time as freaking Kishi or Oda or anything like that. And when Oda like exploded like that, like he was like, hey man, maybe I can like explode too. Maybe I could pop out in the rap game or whatever. And like he tried to emulate that sort of style with his own thing, and he got like, I don't know, personality issues and like schizophrenia, and now he can't write stories, you know.
I don't know, man. It's like it bums me out, to be honest. You know, like I just wish
Fairy Tail was like potentially a badass manga, like wizards that do like dude.
Yeah, they're in guilds and stuff. Yeah, awesome. It's a great premise. I just think I personally believe that this really did happen. It's a theory, and I guess there's no real way to prove it. But I feel like I've read mangas for a long time, like ever since I was a kid, and so I have a pretty internalized understanding of the way these sort of things work out. And I've definitely noticed a huge shift after One Piece got popular. And I don't think that it's been to the benefit of these mangas. Although I do think, you know, and I retract a little bit in that I think Naruto and Bleach haven't been as affected, not nearly as much as Fairy Tail has. I think Fairy Tail is like the primest example of what I'm saying. But I think that I can still kind of see this a little bit in Bleach and Naruto as well. Do you have anything to say to that, John?
I haven't read either Fairy Tail or Rave, and I think I started all the manga like after the fact, where you started to see some correlations. So
Same
I don't know
with
if
me.
I don't know if I can make
Like
that
by the
assessment,
time
but
I started reading One Piece and such, like One Piece was already cracking. Like so.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I
no,
think-
One Piece was definitely not that popular. I mean, you can take a look at the animations that were done for it. It's like shit.
It's still shit.
And it's a lot better now, though.
No, it's still shit.
Have you seen the newest ones?
No, I haven't, but-
Their production value on the animation has gone through the roof. But like the older episodes are like absolutely fucking horrendous. Like you look at it, you don't even want to watch it. You know?
I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
I tried watching. I was like, you know what? I see some Naruto. I watch some Bleach. I'll do some One Piece. I looked up a couple cool fights, and they weren't really cool fights. Like in the manga, it was like, man, that was such an awesome fight. I can't believe what happened. But in the anime, it's like, did that just happen? Like,
I want to say like okay, so like One Piece like was popular in the sense that it was part of the big three back in the day. But I would say that's only because as a shonen manga, like there was a lot, but there wasn't enough that was catering to it the way these guys were doing it. And so in that sense, like, yeah, it was popular, like it was in shonen manga, and it's been there since forever. But like the main crowd attention, the way One Piece is now, it was for Naruto, and then it became Bleach, and then both kind of just moved to the side a little bit. Naruto's still doing pretty well though, I would say, because I think it was like one of the OG ones, you know, like everyone kind of hopped on early on, and then they kind of want to see it through. But
because I think about it as like the people that are still like the most into mangas and stuff were on the generation that grew up on Naruto.
yeah, definitely.
And that makes a huge difference too, like the age groups and stuff. Like that's why I also see like One Piece being more popular now than it was when it started, because like One Piece is still funny, like awesome for kids now. You know, like
Yeah.
for small children, like One Piece or like Naruto, like you're like a small child, like some of those jokes don't apply. You know, like when you're a small child, like having Chopper being a goof, having Luffy being a goof, like all the time, like that
laser
applied
beams,
all
it's
the
like
time.
yeah,
like that applies. Like you barely see Naruto do that anymore. You know, like Naruto had his points where he was like, "Oh, I'm a dumbass," you know, but now he never does it. You know, it's too serious now.
No, yeah, I think a good example is like the 1,000 Years of Pain, right? The
Yeah,
Kakashi thing. It's
exactly.
like you don't
That
really
was a
see any moments like
child-relatable
that.
joke.
Yeah, that was classic too.
Yeah.
I remember when I first picked up my shonen manga, like when I was like in elementary school, like I thought that was like the funniest thing, the 1,000 Years of Pain.
The name of the technique.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
1,000
I remember
years
that.
of-
Yeah, and like there hasn't really been many moments like that anymore. Definitely, nothing that comes close.
I think he tries, but he just they
Yeah,
fall
but
short.
it's
Try hard.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, so we were on that topic for a while.
My
Did you
last
wanna-
quip to put in about Bleach that I just thought of right now in this luscious fucking panel is that he really has a fucking affinity and a love for mullets. Like, look at Hotchwalt's like flowing ass mullet. Aizen did it. Like, come on, man. It's not that badass. Like,
I don't know, man. It's pretty badass.
It's
Even
not just-
Ichigo. When Ichigo activated the final Getsuga, he had a mullet too.
dude, this is not
That-
white
that
trash
thing was
America. This is
glorious.
Japan. Like, maybe he doesn't
Oh,
realize
man.
that.
Because in white trash America, like if he whipped out a mullet like that, they'd all be like, "Darn, that is good," you know, like what a handsome man now. But like in Japan, like were mullets ever a thing in Japan? Really? Like,
I don't think so.
Dude-
No, not
Dude,
even.
is there a recorded person in Japan ever
I'm sure.
having a
I'm sure.
mullet?
I'm sure there is, but
I'm sure there are, but
yeah.
anyway, Juhawak is basically like Joe Dirt with
But
Don't
classed
care.
up, but yeah.
An
He's
angry,
basically Joe
hating
Dirt.
German Joe Dirt. That's what he is, dude.
But yeah, the mullets are glorious.
Okay. I think we should wrap up this topic because we've been talking about it for a while, right?
Yeah. Also, the mustache. We haven't really been talking about Bleach this time. We've just been talking about shit. But anyway, that was our discussion of Bleach. It was cool. Next episode, I predict to see, you know, obviously Ichigo, like, either
Super Saiyan. you
yeah,
know,
his Super Saiyan, you know, like, or you know, he just gets pussy from those bitches, you know. But anything can happen. And
I
now,
don't think we're gonna see any Super Saiyan-esque things. I think he'll handily.
Did you see the electric
yeah,
fields
we
around
should.
him when they did the reveal on him? It was so Super Saiyan 2-esque.
but I feel like that's just like a general way of showing it now. Like that's not just like well, I mean, I can't say that, but like Dragon Ball did do it, first, and
it was way too freaking reminiscent. Like I looked at it
Dragon
and
Ball-
it felt like when Goku became Super Saiyan. Like it just looks too much like it. I don't know.
I mean, there's like, it's a drawing. You can't really show like energy fields around you other than the way that Dragon Ball did it, because Dragon Ball did it in an extremely well and like pretty much the best way. Like, you know, like that's the only way to show like energy fields around you. Like, otherwise it'd just be like a slightly darker shade. Like, I don't know, man. Like, you have to draw lines in electricity going like energy fields. 'Cause electricity is energy.
I got you. I mean, I understand what you're saying. It's like because Dragon Ball Z was such a staple within this universe, it's like it's hard to disassociate anything else other than like when you're talking about energy fields based off people's like internal powers. Like it's almost like you have to see like a battery is like literally overexerting itself. But like that's the job of these people though. Like you have to figure out creative ways to do it somehow else, and there's hundreds of ways you can do it. Definitely. You know, it's like you just got to figure out what it is. It's not an easy job, I don't think, but you got to do it though. Otherwise, it's like just two on the dot. It makes people remember. It makes people look at it and go, "Oh yeah, it's like Dragon Ball Z." But I mean, when you're making a work though, how many times do you want that said about your characters? You know, like not in a good way. Not even like, "Oh yeah, it feels like it's as epic as Dragon Ball Z was." It's like, "Oh yeah, it looks like you're emulating the Super Saiyan." You know, it's like that's not. I don't personally feel like that's a.
Well, I mean, then technically, anytime someone shoots an energy blast, that's emulating Dragon Ball Z. Technically, anytime someone gets like buff and his like clothes blow off because he's fighting, that's emulating Dragon Ball Z.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Not the clothes blowing off. I do agree with the energy blast thing, because it's like, oh yeah, it's like a Kamehameha, right?
Yeah,
I get that.
Everything is just emulating Dragon Ball Z. Then there's just no way to avoid.
Well, I mean, what about One Piece though? Think about One Piece. Like
people do energy blasts in One Piece, man.
They do, but like, how often do you look at it and think of Dragon Ball Z though? Because it's such a mini part amongst the huge variations of power and just different types of energy blasts that exist in the series. It's like I don't look at it and associate too much with it. You know, actually, if anything. When I look at One Piece, the thing I associate it with Dragon Ball Z the most is like the characters and just the general rambunctiousness of Luffy, kind of feeling a lot like Goku when he was Son Goku.
He wants to save the world. He's like a dumbass that's really strong.
Yeah, and I think that's a good thing. You know, like I feel like there's something relatable, but they're still totally different people in totally different universes. But it's like. I'm gonna stick with this, man. It's like certain ones are just a little bit too on the dot, and it's like I think they're aware of it too. It's like you want to create something that's more original than the other one, but it's like there's just you weren't able to in the time that you were allotted. You know, it's like it just sucks, but that's just the way it is.
I understand and like get your point completely, but I'll have to disagree in that like if anything, Luffy's more on the dot. Because he's exactly Goku, yeah. Like, he's a character copy-paste. Like, a dumbass that loves food, that's stronger than he knows himself to be, and that wants to save the world, and who's, like, pure at heart. Like, that's, like, a direct copy-paste, if anything. Like, Ichigo is, like, completely different from Goku. Like, he's a dumbass, but not in that way. He's not goofy at all. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like there's just no way to avoid it. Like,
yeah, I mean, okay.
I hear what you both are saying. If I can chime in.
Yeah, go ahead.
I hear what you both are saying, and I think it all comes down to just the reader's point of view. So like Alex will take this from Ichigo's, or he'll take this out of Bleach and view it negatively. Other people might not associate it. And like actually, I went back and I started to read Dragon Ball to just because it's so classic, and like I actually don't take too much from Bleach from Dragon Ball, but I know what you're saying, and I agree. Some things, I guess. I
don't take Bleach. I don't take much out of
the end.
I don't take much out of Bleach for Dragon Ball. I take it out of Dragon Ball Z. There's definitely a huge difference between the two.
Oh, right.
And I'm saying it's exactly like Dragon Ball Z.
The original series was just Dragon Ball.
I feel like Bleach is basically Dragon Ball Z with swords, but with less developed characters.
And I think a lot of people wouldn't find a problem with that.
I feel like a lot of people would agree, but yeah.
I know a lot of people agree with you. Yeah. Actually, I agree that this arc has been like pretty
Dragon Ball,
pretty bad, even by Bleach's kind of subpar standards. But I don't know. I guess some people take different things out of it, and other people's just don't mind. One Piece, has a lot of its Dragon Ball, I guess
things, and I think that's okay too.
And that's fine. Naruto does too. Naruto is basically like Goku in a lot of ways.
Yeah, he's pretty much a Super Saiyan now, right? With his
Yeah.
golden
The way he
energy.
looks.
That,
Yeah.
yeah,
If anything,
exactly.
it's
That's
Naruto the
exactly
most,
a
like,
Super
yeah.
Saiyan, and
He-
that's something that actually disappointed me was his
Not
character
just his
design
hair.
for that, like the aura, everything.
Yeah, exactly. Like Goku's hair turned blonde and got the aura. Naruto's body turned blonde and he got the aura.
His body turned.
He turned blonde, like he turned like this yellow, like.
Did you guys ever? You didn't read that one? Beelzebub. Did you ever read Beelzebub?
I never heard of
There's definitely a lot of throwbacks to Dragon Ball Z in general, but it's a comedy comic, so he does it intentionally. Yeah, where he's kind of like, he's like, yes, I've gone Super Saiyan now, like during like certain pivotal moments, and like he'll specifically or like throughout the series he'll cite the chapter and the page of a Dragon Ball volume, like it's kind of like that in this like specific page or whatever. It's kind of, I don't know, it's just funny. It's just a funny thought. Like
That's
he'll
kind
like
of the thing,
literally
though,
do
isn't
it.
it? Like going Super Saiyan is basically universally known as like powering up.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Everyone knows that. No one's gonna say, "Oh, I'm gonna go QB suit" or whatever. Right?
QVC.
No one says, "Oh, I'm gonna go Bankai." Everyone says, "I'm gonna go Super Saiyan" or something. Or,
Yeah,
like, he
yeah.
just went Super Saiyan.
He
So
basically
I think
went
it's
Super
just a
Saiyan.
universally kind of accepted term.
Yeah.
See, like that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Like the Dragon Ball Z was like so like.
Iconic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That like
Yeah.
no matter where you
Super
go, you'll
American.
see like homages to him, even if they wanted to like reference it or not. Like
Yeah.
just because Dragon Ball did everything, you know, like how Family Guy is with or South Park is with freaking what's it called with The Simpsons. Like The Simpsons did everything, you know. Like there's no episode that The Simpsons hasn't done, you know. Like that's how I think about it. Like you just can't do anything about it. All right, just to get this conversation moving on. That Bleach chapter was 582, and it was called The Headless Star. And to move on to One Piece issue
Also,
749.
I looked up that guy at the end was one of the Stern Ritter. So
Yeah.
we've seen him before. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I had a feel. Oh yeah, it was the one that they like revealed was gonna be the one to take out Ichigo, right? Other than obviously like Chihabot.
I don't know. He's kind of just been like in the background this whole time, though.
And that's where he belongs. Okay, moving on.
Right.
One Piece.
I don't think we'll have time to get to One Piece in this episode.
We won't. We've already been
we
talking
might
for
have
more
to-
than an hour.
Let's dedicate the second episode of Buggy-sama Fan Club to just One Piece.
From last week
This
and the
right,
next week.
Alright.
because there's going to be a 2-week break for One
Oh,
Piece.
true that,
Sadly,
yeah.
rest in peace.
Yeah.
Oda's tonsils. But so maybe in the next episode we'll dedicate it entirely to.
We should,
God
dude.
himself.
We should sign like a card for his
Oh
hospital.
my god! A
And
get
then
well
send him
soon
and
one.
send him a copy of this this podcast.
I should literally go to the hospital where he's.
Oh
staying.
yeah, you're in Japan. Dude, what hospital is he staying at?
Dude, I don't know.
No one's
I'll
gonna
walk
ever
into-
tell you, yeah.
I'll walk into his room doing the like Buffalo Bob dance, with the goodbye horses and like the Van China. Yeah. But I think that's gonna do it for the first episode of this podcast.
All right, cool.
That was
Next.
excellent. It was hectic and chaotic, just as I expected it to be. But we did get some solid discussion out of it. I'll have to say. Although none of that
Alright.
discussion was anything that I had planned going into this. Like I didn't think we were going to talk about any of that shit. But I'm cool with it.
You're gonna-
Free balling,
You're gonna
man.
have to take us with a grain of salt, audience.
Yes.
A lot of grains of salt, really, like
Many grains of
a
salt.
fat sack of salt.
Yes.
We love you nonetheless, though, listeners. We love you
Yes.
very much.
Yes. And if you're listening to this, we really appreciate it, and we hope you continue to.
Yeah, thanks
appreciate
for
it.
bearing with us, because
We're all nakama in here.
that was difficult for us to
Yeah.
get through, and I'm sure it was even more difficult for you to get through. So we will
No
close
one's
this
listening, man. No one's listening. We're talking. We're just talking to
Someone might be
ourselves.
listening, man.
We will
Someone
close
might be
this week's
listening,
session of the Buggy-sama Fan Club. Special thanks to John Garcia for being in Japan. Shoutouts to the authors for being awesome. Shoutouts to Oda. Have fun with your tonsils being removed. Sign them and send them to me, and I'll sell them on eBay. We will have the discussion next week, as we just mentioned, of just straight One Piece because we were not able to get to it. Game plan was not solid. Thanks to you at home for listening or at work. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Love you.
Shout out to our discussions.
Yeah.